transition process is a lot more difficult and has a lot more obstacles to get around than the regular trans person. My name's Danny, I'm 20 years old, I'm a trans guy and I'm from North County Cork. For the first few years of school, I was in a mixed school, so from junior infants to first class. It was a lot easier back then when my body was perceived the same as all the other boys. After first class, from second class to fifth class, I was in an all-girls school. And I was one of those playing in the mud girls rather than playing with dolls and things. My music taste by fourth class had changed to rock music, and I was more intrigued by aggressive music than any other kind, and I think it was a way for me to listen and vent my feelings and feel like, other people did feel angry at their existence. And I was one of those stubborn kids that was kind of like, this is me, take me as I am or don't at all. At the age of 11, in fifth class, I did move to a mixed school because we were moving house. And I was delighted. I thought, this is great. I've always gotten along more with boys than I did with girls, and I thought it was going to be amazing. And I built it up to be a lot better than what it was. Anytime I did talk to the boys, it was, oh, you're flirting with the boys, or oh, you must have a crush on that boy. And it was, no, I want to fit in with the boys. I want to be like the boys. I want to be perceived how the boys are perceived. I want to do the same things that the boys are all doing. I want to be invited to their house to hang out. I don't want to hold anyone's hand. I don't want to be kissing anyone on the cheek. So it was quite difficult as well. I haven't felt jealousy a lot throughout my lifetime, but the most jealousy I have ever felt was towards my brothers. I think now as well, like particularly in the last 2 years, I've been very jealous of the older one. He's 13, he's almost 14, so he's at that age where he's getting the body that I feel I should have been born with and should have been getting at that age. So there is a bit of jealousy there. Dealing with dysphoria is the worst thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. Dysphoria is the sense that you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel happy, you either feel extremely negative or you feel numb. I have pretty much a little list of things that I can do or can avoid doing to make myself feel better. The list is things like wear my binder, which is sort of like a vest that I will wear under my shirts, which compresses your breast tissue. I will wear makeup in a certain technique that my cheekbones are more masculine looking. I will avoid going shopping. I don't feel good going clothes shopping when I'm dysphoric, because I start to realise, even in the men's section, this top is too long, it will hug this curve or that curve, it's too clingy, the neckline is too deep and it will show my binder and make it obvious. I'll try to talk as little as possible, and it's because my voice is one of the things that I am most dysphoric about. And on those dysphoric days, I do tend to overanalyze everything. And I tend to become very aware of my whole surroundings. I I could walk down the street and I will pick up on anyone glancing at me, and I will put it down to it's because I'm transgender. I knew that the piercings helped me deal with my body, helped me love myself more and like my body more, made me feel a bit more comfortable. And the fact that it was, at the time, the only thing I could do to make myself feel comfortable was to get a piercing or get a haircut. My transition process has a lot more obstacles to get around than the regular trans person. And it's because I'm already working with endocrinologists who are hormone doctors, but I'm working with them for type 1 diabetes, which I have had since I was 11. And I have various genetic issues as well, such as high cholesterol. And the two main things that a trans person needs to start hormone replacement treatment is good cholesterol and good blood sugars, which are two things that I don't have a lot of lately. So there is that difficulty there, but I'm 100% motivated to get them to the best I possibly can, and I'm determined to get there eventually, regardless of how long it takes. I have made friends at Gosh, and I love attending the support group there. The majority of them are further along in their transition in comparison to me, which is difficult at times, but it's also inspiring, and it also is what I need to see that people do reach the goals that I have set for myself, that I'm not a lost cause, and it puts it into perspective that what I have been going through is completely different. It is completely different to the majority of the people I meet on the street, to the majority of the people in my life, and they have actually inspired me enough for me to make the decision that I do want to go into that line of work in the future. My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over a year. I was friends with him before that for a few months, and our relationship it's so good. It's amazing. He's my best friend, along with being my boyfriend. He's my companion in my transition. He is the person I can talk to about every aspect of it emotionally and my physical transition, and he understands as much as a person can understand. There has been homophobic comments passed as we walk down the street, but finding the silver lining in that, I passed as a guy. People seen us as two guys, so yeah, I try to see the bright side of things, and it's definitely the most supportive relationship in my life.
When I found out about his transition, it didn't really make a big difference to me. He was still the same person in my eyes anyway. Adjusting to the change was fine. Like, the only real differences that I noticed were just trying to not say the wrong pronouns. For me, there's nothing that's really that difficult about it. Just like any relationship, really. And him transitioning doesn't really affect it, in my eyes. When he's getting more masculine, I don't think that my feelings will change. I like him for him, and he's a great person. He's funny, he makes me laugh, he's kind, it's just an amazing person in general.
I think the most difficult thing about fully accepting and realising I am transgender is, I think, the thought of not being a dad. It's heartbreaking. I get very upset about the subject, and it is the most upsetting point of being transgender. I think the fact that although I want to be perceived as a guy, I would give up 9 months to carry a child out of that. And I think the part that I mightn't be able to carry a child, it costs $4,000 to get your eggs frozen, and that's a lot when you to think about the cost of top surgery and affording rent and food and everything. And it's just really upsetting to think that I mightn't be able to have a family in the future. And out of all the discrimination in my life that I will go through, I think above all, that is the most heartbreaking part of it. It's not waking up in the morning and feeling like your body is a cage and that it's not your own. It's not speaking and hearing someone else's voice that isn't your own. It's not being worried about your current relationship ending and never being able to find someone who is going to love you. It's literally not being able to raise someone. And I think if I can't have a child or even adopt or foster, if I can't have a family, it's just, I don't see the point to my life, because that has always been my life goal, to be a dad. And it's difficult. It's very difficult knowing that with my transition, I know that if I haven't transitioned by the time I become a parent, I know that emotionally and mentally I won't be stable enough to raise another person, bring another person into the world and give them what they need. In my transition, I am currently only socially transitioned, and I am waiting for the approval of a psychiatrist. I have yet to have my first appointment with him, so fingers crossed that will all go well, and everyone in my life, even people I meet at the shop or acquaintances that I don't bump into often, they all know that my name is now Danny and that my pronouns are he and him. And I have a rule where I will watch at least one YouTube video or read at least one article online which speaks about being transgender and speaks about it in a positive light every week. So I won't go a week without finding that bit of support, because I think especially right now in my transition, I need as much support as possible, because right now is the most uncomfortable I will probably ever be with my body. So all of my friends in my life at the moment are supportive. Anyone who is in any way not supportive, I don't have time for, because it's hard enough to transition and know that the rest of your life, so long as people know you are trans, that you are going to suffer from some aspect of discrimination. Every trans person must see a psychiatrist before they receive hormone replacement treatment to make sure that they're ready for the change. And today is the day that I meet my psychiatrist for the first time. This is the most important and biggest step so far in my transition.